Good morning, boys and girls. So we have been reading a lot about different ways to take care of God's beautiful earth. So we've read stories like The Forest, and we've read articles like 8 Years Old and Going Strong, and we've also read another article called Saving the Earth. Now, we have to remember that this is God's earth. This is God's world. He created it, and it doesn't belong to us. But God wanted us to enjoy it, and He also wanted us to take care of it. God gave us that special job to help to take care of it. We also need to remember that God has control over everything, and that God controls everything that happens on the earth. So we don't have to worry too much. We just need to do what God has asked us to do, and to do our very best to take care of God's earth. And then God will take care of the rest. So let's look at the chart that I've created. Remember, I was thinking of those two articles and that one story, and I decided to create a chart. Remember, when we write categories, we group ideas and information in one place. So I have two categories here. The first category is called Things to Do to Take Care of God's Earth. And the second category that we have here is Things that Hurt God's Earth. So one thing that we can do to help take care of God's earth is to recycle. Not only does recycling help to take care of God's earth, but it also helps to take care of each other. Recycling can help other people to not have to work so hard. Sometimes when we recycle, like those plastic grocery bags that we get from the store, it helps your parents to not have to go and buy plastic bags from the store again. I like to use them in my trash cans. So that is a useful way to recycle in our household. Another thing we can do is compost. So when we have some fruits and vegetables that might have gone bad in our house that are starting to rot, that rot is actually very good for the soil. So to compost means you get those fruits and vegetables or other things that are very healthy and rich for your soil, and you let it rot in your soil so that new flowers and plants can grow. Another thing we can do to help God's earth is to plant trees. God created trees, and trees are an amazing thing. Trees help us to be able to breathe. They give out a gas called oxygen, and they take another gas out of the air called carbon dioxide, and it helps our entire world to be able to breathe very, very well. It's an amazing way that God has created our earth to be able to live. So, and everything on the earth to be able to live. Another thing we can do to help animals is to feed birds. Now, this is one of my favorites because I love hanging bird feeders outside. I put lots of bird seed in it, and I like to sit out in the mornings and watch the birds. And also, I get to hear the birds sing. And you know what? When the birds come out and they sing, they're really singing praises to God, and I love to hear that. So every morning that I sit outside and I listen to the birds coming to get food from their bird feeders, I get to hear those birds worship God and thank God for everything that they have been given. Isn't that special? Another way to take care of God's earth is to ride a bike. Now, not only are you taking care of God's earth when you ride a bike, but you're also taking care of your own body. And that is another way, that's another thing that God really wants you to take care of. So riding a bike helps you to build those muscles. It helps your blood to flow. It helps you to feel happier. I know I feel happier when I ride a bike. So a lot of these things that we can do to help God's earth actually help us too. I believe not only us, but even everybody and every animal on this beautiful earth. Our next category over here is things that hurt God's earth. So there are some things you can do that probably aren't the best things to do. So forest fires are some of the things. Forest fires hurt God's earth. Fortunately, some people aren't very careful when they have a campfire, or if they're burning out in their yard. Some of them aren't very careful, and they can start a forest fire. So it's our job to make sure that we are being responsible. And as a child, should we ever play with fire? No. If your parents, if you're doing a campfire, your parents need to be responsible for that. You don't go near it, and you never play with fire. Okay, so remember, forest fires, if they get started, and they can start easily, they're bad for the earth. Another thing that hurts the earth is when you litter. Do you know what the word litter means? Litter means you're throwing trash all over the place. Now, littering is not a beautiful thing, and it really does hurt God's earth. And it hurts God to think that, oh man, I give you this beautiful earth, and you just want to throw trash all over it. So remember, one way to take care of God's earth is to not litter, but to throw your trash away.